everyone. Today is Tuesday and I'll be answering one of your questions. I'm Barbara from Fairies in My Pond, and today I'm going to show you a way to make removable wings. Now I'm taking the wings that I did in my other tutorial, and if you haven't viewed that, you might want to, I'll leave a little link up on top and you can click on it. But after that tutorial, I went ahead and I added a little bit more to the wings, and they are drying, so I'm hoping that I can do this tutorial and I'm not going to mess up these wings because I only have so much time and I wanted to get this tutorial up. Okay, to make removable wings, I don't know, I think my way is quite simple. But there's a couple of things that I do want to point out to you, because this only has to do what I've experienced. Is that I have a little demonstration here, and you want to do this when you're sculpting it. And what I found is that you're going to need some kind of a tubing. Now, I have used straws like this, and they work out fine. I've tried brass tubing, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I brought this out to show you what does happen. And I had a doll that this happened, but I had some brass tubing, and I used this to make removable wings. And what happens is that with the brass tubing, if the air can get to it, it starts to tarnish. And I don't know if you can see that, but this is what it does. And a lot of people don't realize this. And I've had several dolls that this happened, and then when I figured out what it was, I stopped doing it. Is that when the air gets to it, what happened is that it starts turning green, and then my clay, my cooked clay, started to all corrode and get green looking, and I had this big round ring around the tubing and it was green. Now, if you're using the brass tubing, and like I use the two-part Sculpey to cover it, I don't have that problem, but I don't want to use brass tubing to where the air is going to get to it so that it doesn't make that green stuff. Okay, so I don't use this to make removable wings. What I do use, and I have to say it works very well for me, and it is aluminum tubing. It is very inexpensive. Now this is a much larger one, but the only thing that you have to have is you've got to have some sort of a cutter on your drill to cut that, because as you can see, it closes up, and really the bottom end of it is okay, but I don't want my top end to be closed up. So you're going to have a cutter. Now I have a little piece here, and what I'm going to do is I take a tool, and like if I'm going to put it in the center of her back, what I do, and I go in an angle, is that I take the tool and I'm piercing it. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when I slip the aluminum tubing in, I don't want the clay to come up inside of it so that I can't get the wings in. Okay, now let's see if I'm big enough. So I'm going to take the tubing, and I want to make sure that I did get that deep enough. And I am still pushing down in a slant. And push it all the way down. Okay, now I will go in there and I will finish sculpting around it. Now this is just a rough job. You would take a lot more you would give it a lot more attention than what I'm giving for the tutorial. Okay, now I will take my tool and I want to hold that in place so that I'm not pushing the tubing back unless you see that it needs to be pushed back. Okay, I'm going to pull that out, and then I would go back up in here and I would fix all of this around that tubing. Now I'm going to place my wings in, but they are wet, so I'm hoping I can do this without messing them up. In my last tutorial, I didn't do this, but you're going to see that I added some more glitz to it. And the one thing that I do really like using on wings or mermaid tails is cut glass, little pieces of cut glass rather than glitter. But I do like the glitter too. Okay, now, see, I would cover that whole tubing right up to the edge. Okay, then I'm going to take my wing. So bear with me with this because they are wet. And I want my wire to be slanted down. I'm hoping that this is going to be slanted down enough. Okay, and I'm going to slip this in. You know, if you've got wings, you don't want to do it with your raw clay. Okay, and you want to push that down. See, I can't. There we go. Here, let me move my wings just a little bit out of the way. See if I can do it. Okay, now let me try it. Okay, you're going to slip now. See, I pulled that out. There we go. You'll slip it right down in it, and there you have it. But that's how you do it. And then when it's all cooked, you know, you just pull your wings out. If you're going to ship your doll, just take your wings, wrap them up, and then the owner can just slip that in. But that is how you make, I make removable wings. The other thing that I do want to say with you is that the straws, if you're going to try the straws, make sure that it does take the heat. I honestly have not had any problems. I've heard some people say that they melt or whatever. Maybe there are certain ones out there that will melt, but I haven't run into them. But go ahead and give it a try. I think they work very well. And before I cut this short, I do want to mention this. When you put your wing in, if you see that you don't have a real good fit, like if it's a little bit loose or whatever, I have done this, and I've taken a little bit of my Fimo gel, and I will just coat that wire to, you know, make it bigger, and then just cook it. But just be careful of your other wings so that you don't get the heat on the other part, and then you're going to ruin it. But if you do need to do that, you can do it. And then just slip it back in. I can't really do it. Yeah, there we go. There you go, everybody. That is how I do it. Okay, everyone, I hope that has given you an idea, and you will give it a try. And I will see you in my next video on Tuesday and answering one of your questions. If you have a question that you would like for me to answer, please leave that below in the description box, and I will add you to my list if I haven't already answered the question. Please join my Facebook fan page. I post a lot of information and pictures, and you can follow me on my blog. And everyone, I'll see you next Tuesday.